Clear skies, that's what's happening. I'm Max Herman with 2020 Sports on WFAN, Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM, your flagship station for Boomer and Carton in the morning, and Mike's on, Francesa on the Fan in the afternoon.
Yankees baseball.
Sports Radio 101.9 FM and Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Okay, I guess we're good. Let's roll, baby. It's 2:06. Here on this early Sunday, it is a 4-hour edition of JJ After Dark. That's right, John Jastrzemski keeping you company right here on the Fan. Want to hear from you. Two-way number to get involved with the busy show, 877-337-6666. My main man, Anthony Gallo. Across the way on the other side of the glass, the mighty Max Herman. With the updates every 20 minutes, we are with you up until 6 o'clock. Public Affairs Program, Bobby Salter, coming your way, and the Fan right here in New York City. I hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. The weekend's dwindling when it comes to the summer of 2015. You only have 2 more weekends left before we get into what is going to be the nitty and the gritty that is football Sundays here on WFAN, the unlocks of the week, all that good stuff. And trust me, I am chomping at the bit. I had my fantasy draft Friday in Atlantic City. Think it went pretty well. Maybe I'll give you a few details a little bit later on in the show if we decide that is something we're going to do. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. It'll depend on my mood. But we will do a ton of football. We will get to the Giants and yet another lackluster performance in preseason game number 2 and what you should be worried about and what you should essentially just shrug off your shoulders. So we'll do a ton of Giant football. We'll get into that probably in hour number 2. We'll give you some reaction from the Jets preseason game on Friday night against the Atlanta Falcons. Have a couple of thoughts on that. But we begin here with the baseball. First with the Mets, then with the New York Yankees. For the Mets, Terry Collins said it best, folks, after Saturday night's whooping of the Colorado Rockies. This is how teams win pennants. Mr. Collins, I could not have said it better myself. Because when you are playing lousy, mediocre baseball teams, the Colorado Rockies, the Cincinnati Reds, the Atlanta Braves, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Miami Marlins, these are the teams you are supposed to beat up on if you want to be playing in the month of October. And we get it. The Rockies flat out stink. But, geez, this Rockies team makes the New York Mets look like a bunch of world beaters with the way they've played over the last 2 days. The Mets go out there both Friday and Saturday here, score 14 runs in back-to-back games. Who in their right mind thought a month and a half ago the New York Mets would be able to put up back-to-back offensive performances with 14 runs? No chance in the world. It just shows you how the entire dynamic within this team has changed at the snap of a finger with a couple of very useful trades. Cespedes, you saw what he did on Friday with his 3 home runs. The addition of Johnson, Uribe, what those guys have brought to this team as far as professionalism, as far as legitimacy off the bench, they've needed it. They have desperately needed it. And now here in the absence of Lucas Duda, you're not in a bind if you're a Met fan because you actually come to the realization that your team has legitimate options coming off the bench. And I'm not even mentioning David Wright returning from injury. But with Uribe and Kelly Johnson and Murphy maybe playing a little bit of first base, it is not the end of the world that Lucas Duda is going to be on the shelf here with this back injury for a couple of weeks. But the Mets doing their job, doing exactly what they need to do against a bad Colorado Rockies team. The Mets now, folks, on the season, 6-0 against the Colorado Rockies. 6-0. Job well done. You want to make the postseason for the first time since 2006? You want to continue to be in cruise control in the National League East? You have to continue to beat up on the bad teams. Mets have done a very good job of that. We know they've had their struggles with the Pirates and the Cubbies this year, but it's about beating the bad teams. Mets do that. You know what? You're going to be not only dreaming, but visualizing a realistic goal, which is October baseball. And it's been a long time coming for the New York Mets when it comes to October baseball. And this Met team scoring 14 runs in back-to-back games in back-to-back nights where their pitchers allow 9+ runs. First time in franchise history, the New York Mets have allowed 9 runs in back-to-back games, and yet they've won both of the games. It shows you what this team has been able to do offensively. It has an entirely different feel. And even tomorrow, Logan Verrett on the mound, or later on today, whatever you want to call it, you hope for the best. The Mets did their job here this weekend, winning yet another series, pounding a bad baseball team, and you should be going into the month of September with a pretty comfortable lead over the Washington Nationals, even as the Nationals win here on Saturday. 10 games over 500, Nationals at 500. It is amazing. You look up and down baseball. When you look at the divisional margins, aside from Kansas City and their 12.5-game lead over the Minnesota Twins, the New York Mets have the second largest divisional lead in all of baseball. Who saw that coming a month and a half ago? Not me. No way, no how. Not going to lie to you, folks. And, yeah, partially it's due to the Nationals and their demise. No question. But the Mets are a much improved baseball team. And the Mets have just an entirely different feel about them. And the last 2 days in Colorado are exact proof of that point. Because a month and a half ago, the Mets get blitzed in both of these games. They do. They find a way to lose. Not anymore. Now, they expect to win because they know they have the ability to go out there and score some runs. So a very good job by the Mets taking the first 2 in Colorado. They will go for the sweep. We'll see if they could put up another 14 spot at Coors Field. And I'm sure how many of you Met fans were watching these last 2 games saying, gee whiz, I wish we'd played all off games at Coors Field with the way the Mets are swinging the bats. Maybe not Jonathan East, maybe not Bartolo Colon, and I'm sure not Logan Verrett here on Sunday. But offensively, yeah, it's nice to hit at the hitter-friendly confines that is Coors Field. But a job well done by the Mets nonetheless. As for the Yankees went into Saturday's game in dire need of a victory against a bad Indians team. I know I said it doing the overnight show Thursday and a Friday. The Indians can pitch. The Indians have given the Yankees a lot of trouble. But when you're 1-4 against the Indians, you lose the first 2 games at home at Yankee Stadium Thursday, Friday, you got to stop the bleeding. And that is exactly what the Yankees were able to do in the matinee game, Jorge Posada day against this Indian team. They struck early. They left, no doubt. It was the perfect cure for a team that needed a little bit of a pick-me-up. And to me, the story for the Yankees on Saturday, after you get past the Jorge Posada pomp and circumstance, and I'm a Jorge Posada guy. I don't think his number deserves to be retired in Monument Park. But then again, that's a story for an entirely different day. It was nice to see Posada, and it was nice to see those Yankee greats from yesteryear, Jeter, Pettit, who'll have his day here on Sunday, Mariano Rivera, Joe Torre, on and on we go. It did bother me a little bit that there was nobody in the building. You would think Jorge Posada Day, Andy Pettit Day, the idea is to have people in the seats at Yankee Stadium. But you're watching that ceremony, place was half empty. It looked like there was nobody there, which is a bad look for the Yankees. But if you get past the Posada stuff here, you need to win this game. And to go out and score 3 runs right out of the gate, critical. Knock around Danny Salazar a little bit. Gardner with a 2-run dinger. McCann with a dinger, just what the doctor ordered. And then you get to Luis Severino. And how good has Luis Severino been for the New York Yankees? This is starting to turn into a much more significant sample size. Because the first start against the Red Sox was good. The second start against the Cleveland Indians, pretty good. The start on Sunday, even in a loss against the Toronto Blue Jays, I came away very impressed with Severino. Yeah, he made the mistake to Joey Bats, the 2-run homer, but Beltran loses that ball in the lights, or in the sun, whatever you want to call it. Should have been a 0 for Severino, despite what the stat line may tell you. And going up against the team that he's already faced, a team that would be able to make the necessary adjustments against them, Severino gives you 6 innings of one-run baseball. And it wasn't even vintage Luis Severino. That was the most encouraging thing about this start from a Yankee fan's perspective. He didn't have the A slider. He didn't have the A off-speed pitch to command by any means. But yet, he gives you 6 innings of one-run baseball. That is quality work right there. And the more you watch Luis Severino pitch, the more you are going to be led to believe he has a legitimate chance if indeed the Yankees make the postseason. And if indeed the Yankees are playing in the division series and they need 3-4 starting pitchers, I think Severino's got a great chance to be making one of those starts. With the way he's pitching right now, you got all the confidence in the world. He's unflappable. We know he's got the 96, 97 mile per hour fastball. He's got the off-speed pitch, even though he didn't have it here on Saturday. Kick a pitch. And there's a reason why Brian Cashman, to his credit, told teams in the offseason, told teams at the July 31st trade deadline, even with the Yankees in need of a starting pitcher, we are not moving this guy. This guy is going to be a part of our future. And now Luis Severino is a part of the Yankee present. The more you watch Severino, the more you like. And talking Severino and playoff rotation in the same sentence, it's not crazy, folks. It's really not. And the notion of maybe putting Severino in the bullpen, I think would be absolutely absurd if he continues to pitch like this. Because he has the sort of stuff that could be front end. And he's a baby, and I know he's still got another month and change to pitch, and teams are going to go to work. And they're going to make adjustments against Luis Severino. But his first couple of starts here in a Yankee uniform have been a thing of beauty to watch here. So it's a pretty good baseball Saturday. You're feeling better about the Yankees going out there, getting this game on Saturday. Sabathia, go out and win the game on Sunday. You cannot lose 3 out of 4 to a lousy Cleveland Indians team, knowing full well the Astros are coming to town. Dallas Keuchel will be pitching on Monday, and we know what Keuchel was able to do to the Yankees last time they played. 7-3 homestand was the goal I gave you. The Yankees on this homestand now are 4-2. So they got to find a way to get a couple more wins here. And you don't want to lose 3 out of 4 to this Cleveland team. I know they can pitch, but they can't hit a lick. Hopefully Sabathia can follow up what he's done over his last couple of starts. But the story for the Yankees and Jorge Posada Day, the brilliance of Luis Severino. And it's time to start looking at Severino as a legitimate threat to be in that playoff rotation. A little Yankees, a little Mets to start us off here in this Sunday edition of JJ After Dark. 877-337-6666. We get it wrong with your busy calls right after this.